Dwight David Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, was born on October 14, 1890, in Denison, Texas. Raised in Abilene, Kansas, Eisenhower was the third of 7 children in a modest family. His father, David Eisenhower, was a storekeeper, while his mother, Ida Stover Eisenhower, was a homemaker. Eisenhower's early life in a religious and hard-working family shaped his character, instilling values of perseverance, duty, and modesty that would influence his leadership style throughout his career. Eisenhower's path to fame and the presidency began with his decision to attend the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1911, where he graduated in 1915. After serving in a variety of stateside assignments during World War I, Eisenhower's early military career was relatively quiet. He worked as a staff officer, and it wasn't until the late 1930s that his skills as a leader and strategist began to be noticed. In 1942, after the United States entered World War II, Eisenhower was appointed as Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force in Europe. His calm demeanor, organizational ability, and diplomatic skills made him the ideal leader to coordinate the diverse forces of the Allied nations. Eisenhower oversaw key campaigns such as the North African Campaign, the Italian Campaign, and the D-Day invasion of Normandy on June 6, 1944, which proved to be a turning point in the war. His leadership during these pivotal moments earned him widespread respect, both within the military and among the public. Eisenhower's leadership style during the war was marked by his ability to maintain unity among the Allies, manage complex military logistics, and make tough decisions under pressure. His clear, decisive leadership and his ability to motivate his troops made him a hero both in the United States and internationally. By the end of the war in 1945, Eisenhower had become a symbol of American military success and unity. After the war, Eisenhower served as Chief of Staff of the Army and as the first Supreme Commander of NATO, a position that further solidified his international reputation. However, his growing influence in military and political circles also led him to consider a future in politics. Despite initially rejecting the idea of running for office, in 1952, Eisenhower was persuaded to run for the presidency as the Republican candidate. Eisenhower's political campaign was bolstered by his wartime popularity and his reputation as a strong, steady leader. He promised to bring an end to the Korean War, which had been ongoing since 1950, and to restore peace and prosperity to a country grappling with the tensions of the Cold War. In a landslide victory, he defeated the Democratic candidate Adlai Stevenson and was inaugurated as president on January 20, 1953. Eisenhower's presidency was defined by a series of key policies and decisions that had lasting effects on both domestic and international affairs. Domestically, Eisenhower oversaw a period of prosperity and relative peace. He expanded the New Deal programs and established the interstate highway system, which transformed America's infrastructure and boosted the economy. He also championed civil rights, though his actions in this area were more cautious compared to later leaders. His administration desegregated schools and supported the landmark Brown v. Board of Education Supreme Court decision in 1954, although he was reluctant to push for more aggressive federal action. In foreign policy, Eisenhower faced the challenge of containing the spread of communism during the Cold War. His approach, known as the Eisenhower Doctrine, focused on providing U.S. assistance to countries resisting communist insurgencies, particularly in the Middle East. His administration also witnessed the tense Cold War standoffs, such as the Korean War armistice in 1953, the Suez Crisis in 1956, and the U-2 incident in 1960, which damaged U.S.-Soviet relations. Eisenhower's foreign policy was shaped by his belief in the importance of maintaining a strong military, but also in avoiding direct military confrontations when possible. He preferred the use of brinksmanship, the art of pushing dangerous situations to the edge without going to war, especially in the face of Soviet aggression. His decision to not engage in direct military action during crises like the Hungarian Revolution of 1956 and the U-2 incident reflected his cautious approach to international conflict. Eisenhower's presidency also marked a period of significant domestic change. Under his leadership, the country experienced an economic boom, rising prosperity, and the growth of the middle class. His administration's emphasis on infrastructure, particularly the interstate highway system, revolutionized transportation and spurred economic growth in the 1950s and beyond. On the world stage, Eisenhower's leadership helped secure the West's position during the early years of the Cold War. His role in the creation of NATO and his handling of crises like the Berlin airlift, the Korean War, and the tense standoffs with the Soviet Union helped shape the international order for decades. His doctrine of containment and strategic use of military power set the stage for U.S. foreign policy during the Cold War. Eisenhower was also known for his calm demeanor and his ability to communicate effectively with the American people. His image as a moderate, steady leader helped reassure the nation during a time of political tension. He famously warned against the military-industrial complex in his farewell address in 1961, urging Americans to be wary of the influence of the military and defense contractors on government policy. After leaving office in 1961, Eisenhower retired to his farm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, where he enjoyed a quiet life. He continued to be active in political matters, offering advice to future presidents and remaining a respected figure in both military and political circles. In 1967, he was diagnosed with a heart condition, and his health gradually declined. Dwight D. Eisenhower died on March 28, 1969, at the age of 78. His passing marked the end of an era for the United States, as he had been a dominant figure in both military and political spheres for over 3 decades. Eisenhower's legacy as a military leader and president is remembered for his ability to navigate complex international relations, his vision for America's infrastructure, and his leadership during a critical time in world history. Eisenhower is often regarded as one of the most influential presidents of the 20th century, admired for his pragmatic approach to both domestic and foreign policy. His leadership during the Cold War, his efforts in shaping the modern American state, and his advocacy for peace, prosperity, and caution in the face of global challenges have left an enduring impact on the nation and the world.